up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
You are listening to Wizayne's podcast on the Three Bozos Network. Yo, let's go.
Welcome to another episode of Wizayne's podcast. I am your host, Wizayne the Pizain. As always, don't forget to follow, subscribe, download our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Slap that subscribe button on YouTube like you would slap a flapjack filled with crack made by a baby who got back. And social media, X, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a comment. Well, now that we have that out of the way, it's been quite some time since our last interaction, and it seems like these things are getting further and further apart. I gotta tell you guys, it's a little rough. It's hard to make the time to do this anymore. Doesn't mean I'm giving up. No, not in the least. This just might not be as frequent as you would like to hear. Maybe once a week, maybe once every other week. Keep it going. The other two fellas, it's just hard to pin down a time, you know, with Bose and Brooksy Boy. We're all adult grown men with lives, you know. I got a 2-year-old toddler that I talk about a lot. A wife, I got a business to run, you know, and by the time I get him to bed, I am exhausted most nights. I just want to kind of chill on the couch, watch some Netflix, maybe a football game, which there's one on tonight. We'll get to that later, you know. And then I got Brooksy Boy. I know he's a time zone away. He's the same thing. He's got a family. He's got a full-time job. That's a lot of responsibilities. And then Bose is a working man. He works a lot, and he works with his hands. So he's tired too at the end of the day. We all got a lot of things. So it's really hard to get all three of us to agree on a time for 2 hours to, you know, shoot the shit. But we're going to keep trying, keep going at it. And, well, we appreciate everyone who listens, because it's because of you that we keep doing this. Honestly, if none of you listened, we probably would keep doing this, because the whole thing started just so the three of us could keep in contact and talking. But the fact that people listen kind of puts a little cherry on top, gives a little extra motivation to do this thing. So thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, what's new with me since the last time I talked to you? Let's see. We had me and my wife talked about the election, like right after it happened. We had both been a little tipsy that night. We both got to go out, do some things. We had a babysitter for the first time, watch G Money. She was great with him. Still having some issues with little G Buddy not falling asleep at night. I think we're just going to have to do the tough parenting, let him cry it out. If he falls asleep on the floor, he falls asleep on the floor. Just the way it'll have to be. He'll get used to it. But he's doing really good in preschool, learning about all sorts of stuff. Came home saying no thank you. He says thank you to things. We didn't teach him that. He learned that at school. Oh, what else is going on? Really nothing much. It's just a whole lot of that. Went to the doctor. Blood work didn't come back as good as I wanted it to. My triglycerides are a little high, so they put me on another medication. I take like 12 different pills every single day. Got some fetofibrate to reduce my triglycerides. On top of that, going back to eating a little healthier. I let myself go a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I got past that hump of the cardiac arrest that almost arrested me for life. And I started eating a little shittier. So now it's gone back. Salads for lunch. Nice hearty breakfast. Well, a light breakfast, I should say. And nice healthy dinner. Maybe only one cheat day a week instead of maybe 2 or 3. But I did have McDonald's for the first time in like probably a year the other day. Let's see, it was last Saturday. Me and the wife were pretty hungover, and we needed something to soap up all the alcohol. So I was doing a little better than she was. She had a really bad time. Anyway, so I went up and I got myself a quarter pounder with cheese, no pickles, because pickles are disgusting for the most part. I don't know. I'm starting to kind of warm up on pickles, but if it's on a sandwich or on a burger, it seems like it overtakes the entire flavor. So I don't like them on there. I kind of like them by themselves, though. Kind of weird. Anyway, and then some fries. Oh, it's so good. So good. But I can go another year without having it. It's poison. Poison, as RFK Jr. would say. So yeah, that was nice. Like I said, last Friday we had a babysitter, neighborhood girl, 15-year-old. She had all these rave reviews on the neighborhood bulletin on Facebook. So we hired her for a night, and G Money just adored her. They had a fun time, playing the whole time, and she even got him to go to sleep. She put him to bed, and he just went right to bed. You know what me and K-Cup Slow Drip have to do? I have to put him in bed, lay down next to him until he falls asleep, and then sneak out of the room. Sometimes it'll take like 20 minutes. Sometimes it'll take like an hour and 20 minutes. We're about over that. Like I said earlier, we're going to probably let him cry it out. That's what everybody says we need to do. It seems like other people have had the same issue, and that's what they have to do. But anyway, and so yeah, me and K-Cup Slow Drip went out and had a nice sushi dinner. Had some hot sake and a Sapporo. And then we went to the wine bar, and the wine bar was interesting. There were a bunch of like, we've been there before and it was okay, but this time it was extra pretentious. Like everybody around us was extra pretentious. Even the sommelier, or I call her a fake sommelier, she was kind of pretentious too, and really slow with our drinks. So, yeah, we had a flight and they all tasted like dog water. They're supposed to be like these nice, wines, and they tasted like dog water. And, yeah, there was this one woman there though. She had a mullet and she was a hoot. I tell you what, she was really, really drunk, and she was just like talking to random people up at the bar area, and we just kind of watched her. So that kind of made up for the pretentiousness, So we were like, we want to hang out with that lady. So after that, we went, there was another bar close by that was more our speed. So we went there and sat at the bar, had a couple more beers and a martini, I think. Yeah, I had a martini, and it was good. And then we went home and paid the babysitter, and she went home, and it was so nice. It's the first time we've had like somebody who wasn't her mom or dad watch G Money, so we could go out, and we're going to use her again. She did a great job. Oh, that's about it though. And had some, yeah, that's about it. I don't got anything else. So let's move on to the next segment. We're going to do things a little differently tonight. We're going to have a segment called Sports with Wizayne the Pizain, where I'm going to go over each of the NFL games for this week and tell you what I think is going to happen with each of those teams. Give you a little bit of insight. I'm a little bit of a football nut. I know me and Brooksy Boy did this at a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. So I'm going to do it on my own. Yippee yo, here we go. So tonight, it's actually going on right now. Excuse me. The Steelers versus the Browns in Cleveland. I took the Steelers at -6. paid plus 140, which means if I put $100 down on the bet, I win $140 back. That's not how much I put down, but that's how that works. And I just think the Steelers are so like a way better team than the Browns right now. Russell Wilson is playing pretty good enough at least, way better than Justin Fields was. Najee Harris, they're workhorse in him. He's actually starting to play like his draft status, and then there's that defense is insane. And then you got the Browns, who got a rapist as a quarterback. They really like their rapey quarterbacks. I noticed that. Jameis Winston. And, I mean, other than him and Njoku, they're just not a very impressive team. They don't got anything going for them. They're done. They squeaked out rallied the troops for a victory against the Ravens a couple of weeks ago, then went back to their crappiness. So, easy win for the Steelers tonight, I think. Got Titans and the Texans. Texans are going to destroy the Titans. Texans are they're a playoff caliber team, maybe a Super Bowl team. And the Titans are just one of the worst teams in the NFL. Might finish top 3 or bottom 3, I should say, top 3 draft status this year. So see ya, Titans. Vikings at the Bears. That could be a tough one. Bears have been sneaky good this year, even though their quarterback has played like absolute dog shit. Worst rookie quarterback out of all of them. But the Vikings are also a good team. I'm going to take the Vikings on that one just because I think they're not pretenders like the Bears. The Bears got a good kind of team chemistry, but they don't have that offense that they need to go, beat good teams. Cowboys at the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to destroy the Cowboys. Cowboys, where they got Cooper Rush right now. It's only going to be a matter of time before they put Trey Lance in there, and he's absolute dog water too. Cowboys it is not their year. They're also one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. Commanders are hot. You got Jaden Daniels playing better than everybody. All the rookie quarterbacks. Well, maybe not. There's Bo Nix out there. I'll get to him later too. Commanders, easy win. We got my Dolphins hosting the Patriots. Dolphins are starting to come alive. Tua came back. They are not doing the big play offenses like they did in the past couple years. They're taking what the defenses are giving them, which is a lot of underneath stuff, a lot of short passes, first downs. Tua had the second best, I think, QBR out of everyone. I think Jared Goff had him beat, but last week he played one of his best games as a pro. He knows how to extend a play now. Tyreek had a funny quote. He said about Tua being able to extend plays because he's not fat anymore. He was a little chunky last season. But that was all, to prevent injuries. Defense is starting to play a little better now. They had a really convincing win against the Raiders last week, who is also a pretty bad team. Patriots, young quarterback, showing a little bit of promise, but he's still a rookie. Patriots have not beaten the Dolphins. Have not beaten Tua, I should say, ever. So I'm going with the Dolphins. Hell, I might even take them by a touchdown. You got the Chiefs and the Panthers. That's an easy one. Chiefs are going to demolish the Panthers. Panthers are just not a good team. Also one of the worst teams in the league. A lot of lopsided. So we might see some upsets, but I don't think that's going to be one of them. Chiefs coming off of their first loss of the season. The only team that was left undefeated, and the 72 Dolphins got to pop that champagne cork because they lost last week to the Bills. But they will dismantle this crappy Panthers team. Buccaneers at the Giants. Buccaneers are still finding a way to play good football, even though they're missing both of their top 2 wide receivers. Giants, the only thing they got going for them is a good defense. They benched Daniels for Tommy DeVito, I believe. And we'll see how the new quarterback does, but I don't think it's going to be very good. I think the Bucs are still going to win. I got them by a touchdown too. Yeah, they're going to beat the Giants. The Lions at the Colts. Lions are probably playing the best football in the NFL right now. They're the team to beat. Their offense is dynamic. Even with losing Aiden Hutchinson for the year, I think that they are still the best team in the NFL right now. I hate to say that. I want to say it's my Dolphins, but it's not. It's the Lions, and they're going to beat this Colts team. Colts might stay with them a little bit. You have a little bit of an X factor with Richardson, but we'll see. I don't think so. I think the Lions got that. I'll take Lions by 10 points on that one. Broncos at the Raiders. Broncos are a team that went from poor to pretty good. They're got one of the better records, surprisingly good this year. They play the Raiders in Las Vegas. Raiders don't have a chance. Bo Nix is playing maybe the best football out of all the rookie quarterbacks, him and Jaden Daniels, 1A and 1B. They're playing both really good football. I'm going to take the Broncos. Cardinals at the Seahawks. Cardinals, another team that went from poverty to riches. They're playing pretty well, but they might be frauds. Frauds they might be, but I don't think they lose to the Seahawks. You know what? They don't lose to the Seahawks. Cardinals, they'll win. Probably I wouldn't take them more than 3 points, though. It's going to be a close game because it's always tough to play in Seattle. They have one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, and I will take them over the Cardinals. No, the other way around. I will take the Cardinals over them. See ya, Seahawks. We got the 49ers at the Packers. CMC is back. He came back last week. Didn't really matter. I think they lost. Let me take a look real quick. Yeah, they lost to the Seahawks 20-17. So what do I know? Hell, maybe the Seahawks will beat the Cardinals. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I don't care if they have CMC back. There's just something not right with the 49ers right now. They're not playing 49er football. The Packers are hot. Jordan Love's playing well. And, I'm going to take them. Eagles at the Rams, Sunday Night Football. Going to take the Eagles. You know what? No, I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams at home because I think the Eagles are a bunch of frauds. I think Jalen Hurts is overrated as fuck. And I'm going to take the Rams. I think the Rams are getting hot offensively. They're getting healthy again. You got Puka and you got Kupp, both playing really good football. And don't forget about Williams, the running back. So I'm going to take them. And then Monday Night Football, we got the Ravens and the Chargers. That should be a tough game. Chargers have kind of charged forward, having a good record right now, playing the Ravens, who are hot and cold, but when they're hot, they're one of the hottest team in the NFL. They're really, really tough. I think Justin Herbert is overrated as hell. I think Lamar, I almost said it again, Lamar Jackson is a little bit overrated, but not as overrated as Justin Herbert. I think the Ravens are going to beat the Chargers. And that is the wrap up of the week of NFL games. So, yippee-yo, there we go. Now, having done all that, back to our regularly scheduled program, on to the news and the 1440 news feed. 1440 news feed. 1440. I tell you what, before we get to that, let me talk a little bit about Donald Trump and some of his appointees. I'm going to pull it up real quick, because it's hard to know who everybody is without looking at them all. Okay, so some of the ones that come out of note, Trump has been kind of filling his cabinet. They all have to get approved by the Senate and everything, but he's approving it. He's going through the people, appointing people. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. That's a pretty safe, bet right there, picking Marco. I'm a big fan of Marco Rubio. I met him once before. He, came to one of my old jobs when I worked corporate and whatever. He's kind of a robot, but hey, he's not the worst guy in the world either. Attorney General making waves was Matt Gaetz. People hate Matt Gaetz, hate him. Oh, especially Democrats, but even Republicans. He has a lot of controversy around him. There was a thing about him having sex with a 17-year-old girl, and then when he found out that she was 17, he stopped having sex with her. All this stuff is under investigation. A lot of cocaine, sex trafficking. all things that he got investigated for like 3 years and never got charged with anything because I guess he passed the sniff test on all of it. But the thing is, they were going to come out with a report or something like that was going to make him look bad. So the whole theory was that he was going to resign from his House of Representative seat. The House Ethics Committee keeps Gates reports under wraps. So there was a Gates report. And because he stepped down, they decided not to release it. Well, him being AG was like almost like a promotion without him getting any of the negative, press. Now, since it's obvious that he is not going to be, Senate's not going to approve him, he has withdrawn his name. Some of the rumors are that he is going to go after Marco Rubio's vacant Senate seat. And if all of that fails, then he can always go back to his House seat because he won his district back in January. So, he's going to come out sniffing like a rose, smelling like a rose any way you look at it. I understand the pick. I really do, because he is an attack dog, and that's what Trump was wanting. He was wanting an attack dog to go after all of the people who he feels, whether you agree or disagree, he feels that will weaponize of the judicial system against him during all those kind of frivolous lawsuits and, convictions and things like that. So he'd basically be coming back twofold on a lot of those people with Matt Gaetz. But he's not going to be the guy. He stepped down. Pam Bondi took his place. Pam Bondi is a little more respectable. She's a Florida person. Her and Trump are really close. I understand the pick. She's pretty good at her job. So there you go, Pam Bondi. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr. Another one I get. A lot of people give RFK a lot of crap about the whole anti-vax thing. He is more of a vax skeptic. Like, he is vaccinated himself. He doesn't tell people really to go not get the vaccinated, but the thing about all of that is the companies that issue these vaccines, that make these vaccines, are completely immune from any kind of prosecution or lawsuits. It's in the law. All of them are. So he's a skeptic about a lot of this stuff because he's kind of looked into it. There's things in vaccines that apparently reduce your immune system that cause the part that you're vaccinated for to be a little stronger, I guess. Like, you get weaker to get stronger kind of thing. And sometimes that can cause adverse side effects, is what he's claiming. This is what he claims. Okay. Me, I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much, or at least not enough to speak like an expert on this stuff. This is where he comes from. And because he's a skeptic, he's been kind of labeled an anti-vaxxer. And being labeled an anti-vaxxer, you might as well be labeled a racist or a Nazi or a white supremacist or a bigot or anything else. It's all kind of the thing. It's a way of putting a label on somebody so you can discredit their actual intelligent arguments. I can't stand the guy's grating voice, but if you can get past that, he's actually a pretty intelligent guy, and he's a really healthy guy. And what he wants to do is he wants to take our food and make it healthy again. I'm sure you guys have heard it before overseas, in Europe and everything. Their food is not the same ingredients that we have over here for the same products. He wants to make, just kind of get the poison out of all of our food and things like that. So I'm all good with that. Oh, let's go down some more. We got Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary. A lot of people are criticizing this move because he is a weekend Fox and Friends host. Why are you putting the Fox guy on? He has been in the military for the most part of his life. He is I believe it's a Princeton and Harvard grad. He's a smart guy. He's a best-selling author. And on top of that, he's served overseas. He's been in the shit. And I understand this pick as well. Trump tells this story about he basically got rid of ISIS. So to do that, he was talking with the generals in Washington, the Pentagon generals, the high up, general, 4-star generals, things like that. And they told him it would be, years and years to get rid of ISIS. So he, I guess in the dead of night, whatever, took Air Force One over to the Middle East and actually spoke with the generals on the ground there, or the military guys in charge on the ground there. And he asked them the same question, and they said 2 weeks. And they're like, well, why haven't we gotten rid of them yet? He's like, the people in Washington holding us up. They give us orders. We have to follow the orders. He's like, but, this is how we do it. So getting in direct contact with those people, and this is all Trump's account, we got rid of ISIS in 2 weeks. Okay. So he credits himself for getting rid of ISIS. And he credits it by actually talking to the people on the ground. Pete Hegseth would be your guy on the ground. He is a guy who cares a lot about veterans. He, unfortunately, when these generals get to a high enough rank, and this is what I hear from, people in the military who aren't generals, that you stop being a soldier and you start being a politician. And that's what these guys are. They're politicians. They say he's underqualified. The guy who is qualified in there right now basically took a medical procedure, told nobody about it, and nobody knew where this guy was. And he was our defense, Secretary of Defense. So, it can't be worse than that. Other than that, we got the Interior Secretary, Doug Burgum. I don't really like him too much, but he seems to have Trump's ear for some reason. You got Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation. He's another Fox guy, but before that, he was in the House. So he's he's got government experience. Linda McMahon, the Secretary of Education. Yes, that same Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon's ex-wife. Apparently she was the head of the Small Business Administration in his first term, 2016. And she has had a cabinet position before. She has been on education board for Vermont, I think, or something like that for a year. And she is involved in Sacred Heart something. Anyway, I looked into her a little bit about this. It doesn't matter that she doesn't have that much education experience, because she's not there to do that. Trump is wanting to completely get rid of this part of the government, the federal, anything to do with federal and schooling, and wants to, give it to the states. So she's going to go in there as a businesswoman, and she's just going to cut, and get as much money from that department as she can and cut it, whatever she can on that. So that's why she's there. We got Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security. Hopefully she doesn't kill any more dogs. I guess she's trying to rehab her image. That whole dog killing thing really, really crushed her. I think she was going to be the vice president pick, and then that came out, and then JD Vance came in as the pick after that, and honestly, probably a good thing too, because he's a smart guy, and I don't think she kind of reminds me of what's her name, Alaska chick. I can't remember her name right now. Anyway, who else we got? We got Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, which is a good pick in my opinion. I like Tulsi a lot. She's really smart, and I think she'll do a good job there. We got Mike Huckabee, U.S. Ambassador to Israel. This is a good one here. Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. This is great. They're basically going to go through all of the federal spending and federal agencies that we have, and they're going to slash it. And it's not exactly a cabinet position. They don't have any real power, but what they are is they're advisors to Donald Trump. And he's going to basically listen to what they say, and he's going to do it. There's this video floating around about Vivek Ramaswamy. He's talking about how he would, for like federal employees, he wants to really, really fire a ton of them. But you have to do it randomly. You can't, otherwise it's like a targeting thing and you get lawsuits or whatever. It could be like a bias thing. So if you do it randomly, he's like, anybody who has a social security number that ends in an odd number, you're fired. So that's half. Out of that half, anybody whose social security number starts with an even number, you're fired. And there you go. And then you're down all those salaries. What I am seeing a lot of things on social media, a lot of people who are supposed to be respectable journalists reposting this, is him saying that and then them saying, oh, he's talking about Social Security. They're going to cut Social Security. Nobody said anything about cutting Social Security. I think they probably should. It would kind of suck for me. I'm next in line to get that sort of thing. But Social Security is like a thing where young people who need the money are paying into it for older people who relatively are better financially off than younger people. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, you know, but it's still there. It's not going anywhere. I mean, any politician that ever got rid of Social Security, that'd just be a death sentence for them. That'd be a whole death sentence for the Republican Party if they did that. So that's not going to happen. But yeah, I am happy. I hope the more government slashing they can do, get rid of the government. Yeah, I'm all about that. I think that's about it. Those are all the really notable ones. I don't know. Some of them are head scratchers. I think most of them are pretty solid, though. A lot different than what people are used to. So that is an interesting one, and we will see what we all have in our future. So now back on to the 1440 news feed. Landmines in Ukraine. President Joe Biden announced yesterday the U.S. will send anti-personnel landmines to Ukraine, reversing a ban in place since 2022. Officials suggested the devices will shore up Ukraine's defense against Russia's deployment of small squads across its lines. Rights troops said the mines will endanger civilians. More than 160 countries are signees on the Ottawa Convention banning the mines designed to detonate on contact. Russia and U.S. are not part of the treaty, with Russia deploying mines, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to a bigger thing on this. Yeah, whatever. The fact that Biden gave the Ukraine long-range missiles to fire into Russia, U.S. missiles to fire into Russia in his lame duck period. He's literally trying to start fucking World War III right now, before Trump can even get into office. When Trump got elected, all of the leaders, including Putin, said, I'm ready to make peace now. Zelensky ready to make peace, and now Biden is giving them anti-air missile or long-range missiles to go fire into Ukraine to escalate the situation even more. It's fucking bullshit. It's a real head scratcher. It really is, and it's a shame. And I hope cooler heads can prevail enough until Trump can get in office and maybe actually, get some peace talks really, really rolling. So. Bomb cyclone hits Northwest. 2 people have died in Seattle as a bomb cyclone impacts the Pacific Northwest. Nearly 600,000 customers have lost power. A bomb cyclone occurs when a storm system undergoes bombogenesis, with its central pressure dropping rapidly within 24 hours. That sucks. You guys got hit with shit that we get hit with 4 times a year. Woo. I hope everybody's okay, though. Laken Riley killer sentence. Good. Too bad they're not going to give this guy the death penalty. Georgia nursing student Laken Riley's killer was convicted yesterday on all 10 counts related to her February 22nd murder. The defendant, a 26-year-old Venezuelan illegal immigrant, is what it should say, was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. Yeah. He should get the death penalty. I think Trump even said that if any illegal immigrants, kill a citizen, murder anybody, they should get the death sentence. And it's not any different than if a citizen did it, they'd get the death sentence if it was a state that, honored the death sentence or the, death penalty. But anyway, at least hopefully that family gets some closure on that. That was a real sad story. Yeah, that Rust film debuts in Poland just over 3 years after an on-set shooting death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. They don't even mention Alec Baldwin was the one that killed her either. Here we go. The gut microbe is shaped in part by social networks and localized areas study finds, suggesting such microbes can be passed from person to person. I can pass my gut microbes to you people out there. Get my gut microbe. Squid-inspired device allows doctors to deliver drugs orally that would otherwise require needles. Design uses tiny jets to shoot drugs into tissue, lining once in the digestive tract. Cool technology. We got markets. You guys want to hear about markets. Politics. House Speaker Mike Johnson announces policy requiring people to use Capitol bathrooms aligned with their biological sex. Yeah. I think people with penises should use the men's room and people with vaginas should use the women's restroom. Yeah, there's another thing about it. Senate Judiciary Committee requests FBA files on since dropped investigation Attorney General Matt Gaetz. What else we got here? Visualizing, blah, blah, blah. We got some clicky bait stuff. Nah, that's all stupid. So let's go and end this show like we do every show with a day in history. French philosopher Voltaire, born in 1694. Thomas Edison announces phonograph invention in 1877. Icelandic singer-songwriter Björk born in 1965. I got a song of her on my Spotify playlist. Baseball great Ken Griffey Jr., born in 1969, is my all-time favorite baseball player. I have his Upper Deck rookie card and a couple other of his rookie cards. That's the good one, though. And he has the sweetest swing ever in baseball. And it's always a shame because he's always overshadowed by guys like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. All the guys that cheated by using steroids, where you could tell old Ken Griffey Jr., he didn't use steroids. He just had that sweet swing and won Golden Gloves in the middle field. I saw him once catch a ball at the wall and throw a guy out all the way to home plate. The guy he was amazing. He was amazing. All-time favorite baseball player. Robert Mugabe resigns as president of Zimbabwe after 37 years in office in 2017. And we have a quote from Thomas Edison. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Well, just like at the beginning of this show, we don't want our life's failure of giving up on this podcast because we didn't realize how close we were to success. And even though we might be taking little breaks here and there, we're not going anywhere because we will continue to talk to you. So don't forget to follow, subscribe, download our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. Slap that subscribe button like you would slap your forehead going, "Doh," as you remember that you left your baby in the backseat of a hot car. On YouTube and social media, X, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, that's it for tonight. Until next time, yippee-yo, let's go. See ya.